Okay, thank you so much for that reminder to record. So for those that missed the start of it when I hadn't recorded it, we've just got 600 grams of soy wax in our Thermomix on 75 degrees. Okay, so the first ingredients that we're going to put in is 1 bar of Sunlight soap or Velvet soap. So I just use the Velvet Pure soap and it looks like that. Really easy to cut with a knife. So I've just chopped mine, as you can see here, just into ice block sizes so it's not too hard on your blades. And we're going to pop that into the Thermomix. And then this recipe doesn't include it, but I've found that it works really well. But the next thing I have used as well is Sard Wonder Soap. So I also put between half a bar to a full bar. Don't put any more Sard soap in there because it will get too soapy and too foamy for your machine. Now, this can go in front loaders and top loaders. So that's where this recipe is really good as well. So I'm going to put about, I don't know, 3/4 of the Sard soap in there, which I have already chopped up. So we'll just pop that in. The next ingredient, so the Sard soap, just to talk about, you know, the differences and what each ingredient does, I've got it written all down here. So the soap obviously is the cleaner. It cuts through the grease and it's also a stain remover. And same with your Sard soap. So your Sard soap's really good for removing stains. So that's why I add that particular one. As I said, don't go too hard on that one because it does soak right up. The next thing we're going to add in is the what are we going to add in? The Bicarb, 1 cup of washing soda. What's washing soda, you ask? I haven't been able to find it at Woolworths, but I have been able to find it at Coles. That's what it looks like. It does say to wear gloves when handling this product. So just do that. I'm not today because I'm naughty. But that's what it looks like when you're looking for it, and it is in the cleaning section of your supermarket. So it's electric washing soda. So we're going to pop in 1 cup, and it just looks like that. So we'll pop that in there. And then we're going to pop in our next ingredient, which is the Bicarb Soda. Now, we also want 1 cup of that. That's just in your baking or in your cleaning section in any supermarket that you go to. Pop that in, and I'll just grab. So the Bicarb is also a stain remover. It whitens, deodorizes, and it's a substitute for borax. So if you are someone who, oh, there you go. That's a great suggestion there, Carla. So swollen limbs, I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. So yes, Bicarb is also a replacement for borax. So if you're someone who doesn't want to use borax, I know some people aren't a fan of that just because it is such a harsh chemical, then you can use the Bicarb. If you're not going to use Bicarb, use borax. So I'll pop that in, 1 cup of Bicarb. Easy. Then the next thing is, what are we going to do? 1/2 cup of salt. Now, this is an expensive one because I use my Himalayan salt because I didn't have any Epsom salt or any normal salt. But the salt actually works as a, a disinfectant. So that's why you put the salt in. I've often made it without the salt. Salt also stops mold. So if you want to leave your washing sitting there for a little bit, this will come in handy. But, you know, we want to get it out straight away and dry, don't we? So there's the salt. So just 1/2 cup of salt. And then citric acid. Now, citric acid, I've just used the baking one because that's all I have got. This can work against your washing soda because they sort of bounce off each other with respect to what they do. So make sure that if you're altering the recipe, that you alter it accordingly. So if we've got 1 cup of electric soda in here, the washing soda, we're only going to use 1/4 cup of the citric acid. You can leave the citric acid out. I have seen people leave it out before and say that it works just as well. So if you don't want to use that, you don't have to. But just 1/4 cup is what I'm using. So I'm going to pop that in. Then we get on to the smell of it. We want it to smell really lovely, don't we? We don't want it to smell yuck. So yes, we've got soap in there, but it's not going to give it a fragrance. I will say that this particular recipe, it doesn't have that overpowering, beautiful smell that your washing detergents that you buy from the supermarket do, but that's because it hasn't got heaps and heaps of chemicals in it. This is just very natural, and anyone that has skin issues, really good to make your own washing powder. There's a couple of different essential oils you can do. I know that a lot of you are into essential oils, so by all means use your doTERRA or whatever you like to use, but a cheaper option, because we're looking also at being cost effective. Making things in your Thermomix from home can save you lots of money. And as I said at the start, $25 a kilo for, you know, the total eczema-free washing detergent. We're trying to reduce this, and this would cost about $5 a kilo, so big difference. So to reduce the cost, what I have done is just bought eucalyptus oil. You can buy this from the chemist, I think even maybe from the supermarket. It is a lot cheaper, but it still gives that lovely fresh smell to it. If you wanted to, by all means, you know, doTERRA or this one I got from the chemist, you can use your essential oils. It will make your washing detergent a little bit more expensive though. So up to you. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to add, it says 20 to 30 drops of essential oil. I've always done a cap and that has worked fine. So we'll just put in a cap of that. Actually, we'll do that at the end. The other option you can add in, which I add in a, it is, the eucalyptus is a really fresh smell, and I love it, absolutely love it. So the other thing you can add in, if you want to add a tiny little bit of bluo, which helps with your whites. So that is also an option. So what we've got, we've put in the velvet soap, the SARD soap, we've put in the electric soda, we've put in the citric acid and the bicarb. So we're just going to blitz that all up. So big hunks of soap are in there. So we'll just turn that round, and I'm just going to do speed 9. Okay, so that was about 8 seconds. And as you can see, we've got a really fine powder. Now what I'm going to do, shush, there my mix. I put it on factory reset the other day, so clearly I didn't fix that. Okay, so we've got, for those of you that didn't know that are on here that have just got a new TM6, you can change the duration of that sound. You just go into the settings and go into the sounds, and you can have it ring only, I think it's about 3 times. So if you didn't know that, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to put the cap in, if I can get the cap off. So 1 cap, and this just gives it, just spread it around a little bit, and it just gives it that beautiful fresh linen smell. Then I'll put it back in, and I'm going to put it on speed 5. And then we're done. Easy. I'm going to add in a cup of fluo. You know why? This is such a trivial thing. Yes, it does whiten, but I actually love the little blue flecks through it, because when you put it in a jar to give to someone, it looks really lovely. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that in.
So that comes in powder form, Kerr?
Pardon?
Is that a powder?
Sorry?
That's a powder?
Oh, no, it's a liquid.
Okay.
And wear gloves when you're doing it. Okay, so we'll just put Put that around. And then we've done our washing powder. So this particular washing powder, look at this, heaps.
Wow.
And then what I do is I grab, you all probably know this trick, but putting it in your jars. So I just keep mine in a jar. It doesn't have to be airtight, but I just put it in my jar and use the lid as my funnel. So popping it in, and then it catches all my spills. So I could grate that even finer if I wanted to. So I probably should have gone for a full minute. I think I went for about 40 seconds. But there we go, homemade washing powder. It is so easy, guys. And as I said before, if you've got someone that has skin issues in your family, give it a go, because it's so easy. I'm going to now, actually, I'm going to head over to the lovely Michelle if she's ready, and she can show you how to make the body scrub, and then we'll come back to me. So are you ready, Michelle?
Yes, absolutely, Kurt. Thanks very much. So hi, guys. Look, it's winter. I thought most of you may have dry, flaky skin, as we can often have in winter. So I thought I'd show you how to make a body scrub. So today I'm going to make a whipped lemon body scrub, and it takes about 2 minutes. It's really easy to do. And it can also, like you said earlier, it's a beautiful gift to give away as well. So it's literally 4 ingredients. All I'm going to do is start off with some lemon zest. This is really easy. You don't get any white pith on here if you just use a peeler instead of a knife. So really easy as well if you're doing that to make other recipes. So I'm going to put in the lemon zest. That's just of 3 lemons. And then I'm going to add 80 grams of salt. So I'm just using the white coarse salt today. And I'm going to mill that just for 10 seconds on speed 9.
Okay, and as Michelle was, while she's doing the milling process, we were talking today, it didn't have an expiry on the recipe that she's using. This is an Alice Alexandra one, but with those types of ingredients, I think this would last quite some time. If you're giving it as a gift, you want to sterilise jars and seal it straight away as soon as you've done it. But I would say it's got quite a long shelf life with those particular ingredients. And she's just milling that now. So quick and easy.
We're just going to scrape down the side. So that's what it looks like right now. And then we're going to mill it again for another 10 seconds on speed 9 curve. So a bit more noise in a moment, guys.
That's all right. We can't actually, the Zoom is so wonderful that it drowns out your sound when you turn your Thermomix on high. So that's all good. Now I'm just going to have a look. If anyone's got any questions, I'm monitoring the chat box as well as hosting today. So please take yourself off mute if you've got anything to add. I'll just check while Michelle's doing that. Let's have a quick. Jenny made a good point. When I was doing the funnel with the lid to turn it the other way, I had it the wrong way, so it was kind of pouring out the sides a bit. So yes, thank you, Jenny. Yeah, I think you've got at least a good 3 months with this particular scrub. And, you know, if you look online, even on this particular website, there are all sorts of scrubs. So you can do coffee scrubs, you can do like chocolatey scrubs. But, yeah, can't wait to see this one, Michelle.
So many variations, and the lemon zest smells absolutely so refreshing and beautiful. Now with this recipe, we're going to add the whisk. And for those of you that haven't used the whisk before, you just pop it above the left of the highest blade. Just so that, and turn it just so that you can feel it click into place. And then we're going to add our coconut oil and literally just whip that for 30 seconds on speed 4.
Awesome. And yes, there is an abundance of lemons out there. So this is actually why Michelle came up with this particular recipe. She's been baking everything with the lemons and coming up with these wonderful recipes. And then we talked about body scrubs and stuff. So that's why we've made that today. But that's the beauty of, oh, how much coconut oil would you have to?
That was 200 grams. Now, I'll just tell you, well, I'll give you a few more tips at the end of this. It won't be long.
All right. And you were telling me before this, I mean, the best part of being consultants is we all get to share all our different recipes and what we've been doing. And you said you've been cooking up a storm in the last 24 hours, Michelle. So when that's finished, actually, I think you could talk over that. I'd love to hear what you've been making.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, don't talk. Not while that's going. But yeah, so if that is something that interests you, becoming a consultant, please reach out, because we've got the $62.50, so half price business kit, which is $340 worth of stuff. So if it's something, if you want to do this, be sharing recipes and ideas and be part of this beautiful foodie community, reach out to your consultant and they will give you more information. It's we love it. Absolutely love it. Is that done, Michelle?
This is just one lot of 30 seconds. It looks like whipped cream. You feel like you could eat it. It's so beautiful. But it just has to have one more 30 seconds on speed 4.
Okay.
Step 4 of the 5 steps. So we're almost done, guys. As easy as.
So you'll just be scraping that down. And how much do you think it would make? How much approximately?
So this should make, according to the recipe, 3 tubs of 250 mils. So I literally bought this today from the reject shop. They were $1.50. And the beauty of this scrub, I've done a calculation, it's only going to cost $7.50 for 3 tubs. So that's $2.50 a tub, and this is $1.50 alone. And how beautiful is that to give that away with some ribbon around or...
Yeah, and if you were to buy that at a market or at a not a supermarket, but a giftware place, you'd be looking around the $10, $15 mark, I'd say.
Yeah, I've researched today, and just to make a lemon sugar body scrub is between $20 and $40 for the same size tub.
Oh,
so 150 grams, not even 250. So it's quite surprising.
That's why we love our Thermomix, not just food saving money, but also for do-it-yourself things at home. It is ridiculous, isn't it? It's just for how much it can cost to make at home. We've got another, we've looked at doing lip balms and moisturisers and things like that before. So if you'd like to see something like that, please put it in the chat box and we might think of doing one of those sorts of things. I normally do one of those around Christmas time, but we could do it sooner rather than later. All right, whilst she's doing that, oh no, she's nearly finished, I think. Yep, we'll wait for Michelle to finish.
I'm almost done. We're going on to step 5. And this is now, oh, it's light and creamy and absolutely beautiful, guys. Wish my light was a little bit better in here.
Can you hold it up closer to the camera for us, Michelle? Excellent. Yep, beautiful. And it smells amazing, no doubt.
It does. Now, the last step is to add 500 grams of raw sugar. And we're going to put that in again for 30 seconds on speed 4.
Fantastic. While she's doing that, I'm going to spotlight to myself because I can. All right. So I'm going to just show you the melted wax. So remember what the wax looked like before. Now we have, now the Thermomix has the cooling down, so I've just stopped it. So what I did is 10 minutes and it has melted beautifully. Now I'm going to have to bring the camera down so I don't spill it, but you can see, look at that. So what I did do is after 10 minutes, I just scraped it down because there was still some of the wax, as you can see up the top. On the side, so I just scraped it down, put them in there, and then just put it on for a little bit longer. So that's ready for the next step. I don't have to worry about you put it in the microwave, you've got to take it out, put a temperature gauge in it, wait for it to come down to 75 degrees. Now, Michelle, are you getting that out now, are you?
Well, actually, I decided to remove the whisk. Now, I haven't made this recipe before, guys, so that's the beauty of the Thermomix. Pretty much everything just works, and so we're just going ahead and trialing out these new recipes. But I do find because the sugar's in there, it's probably a little bit thick, and it shouldn't be whipping with the whisk. It doesn't say to remove the whisk. So, but I'm going to do that right now just to blend it together.
And don't we love that about the Thermomix? So, you know, things that you wouldn't normally make in your kitchen that would take forever if you're doing it by hand or doing it manually. In the Thermomix, you can pretty much do anything, and it's a pretty much guarantee that it's going to work. Sometimes we might have our flops, but maybe that's because we've missed a step or we haven't been paying attention, or it might be the recipe. But in most cases, it just takes cooking to another level because you can give everything a go like we are today. Michelle's never made this recipe. How's it looking?
Well, to be honest, it looks like just a soft brown sugar.
Yeah.
But it smells heavenly. It's made so much, I guess, because of the volume of the brown sugar. So I'm going to plant this and see how much I can get into the tubs. We may very well get more than 3 tubs out of this, to be honest. But I'll decant it out and we'll see how far we can go.
Okay, whilst you're doing that, I'll come back so we can see it in the end all nice in the containers. But I'll come back to me and we'll go back to our candles. So our wax has melted. If you are doing it in a microwave or something like that, you would have to sit there and wait for it to cool down to exactly 75 degrees. I have written out this recipe for a Thermomix, so I will send it all to you at the end. But what we are going to do now with your fragrances and your ratios, so it's 8 to 10% of the ratio of soy wax. So we put 600 grams of soy wax in there. So I'm going to do 60 grams of fragrance. Once again, you could use essential oils, but that would be super expensive. I like to buy mine in bulk. One of my favourite fragrances is Island Spa. We're all dreaming about islands at the moment and getting away on holidays. Well, this smell will take you there. It's really, really beautiful. And it's the type of fragrance that I imagine, you know, when you go into a Doda spa and things like that, you've got all those beautiful smells. This candle or this fragrance, absolutely divine. You could also buy it in smaller bottles. So you've got big bottles, small bottles. This one's French pear. That's a popular one that a lot of people love. But I'm doing the Island Spa today. So we are just going to add our fragrance in, just like so. So 60 grams because I use 600 grams of wax. Now, what we're meant to do is if we didn't have a Thermomix, for the next 2 minutes, we were to sit there stirring 1 minute one way, 1 minute the next. We don't have to do that. So we just put it on stir for so we'll go 1 minute. We're not doing a temperature, so we'll just get rid of that. So we'll just go one way and it's mixing it in. You really do need to make sure that it's mixed in nicely. And then we're going to just press the blades button and go on reverse for another minute. So that's doing that. Then what you do, you have to wait. You have to wait for it to be at the right pouring temperature. So the right pouring temperature is 55 degrees. So if you see here, see how it's 50, it will be 55 degrees. Once it's 55 degrees there, so 75 degrees, you add your fragrance in, 55 degrees. So you just keep on looking at your Thermomix, make sure once it's down there, it means it's at that pourable consistency. Now, if you're impatient and you don't wait for the right temperatures, it comes out kind of, it doesn't solidify up the top and it's kind of not the right pour. So what I'll do is I'll wait for that to cool to 55. Then I'm going to pour it straight into my candles like so. Then you leave it to sit for 24 hours. do not move your candles once you've poured them, because once again, think of like when you're making yogurt, fermentation doesn't like to be moved. It doesn't like to be disrupted. Neither does the soy. So you'll get a finer finish and a really nice silky smooth top if you leave it. If you are doing lids on your candles, you'll need to make room up the top for where you pour. So what I do, you can see this is a reused one, but what I do is I put sellotape on the outside. So I'll pop my lid in, see where it finishes, and then I'll pop sellotape just below there so I know where to fill my candle to. So those ones with lids, you can do the marking on the outside and then rip it off once it's cooled and dried. And then you cut your wicks about 5 millimeters above your wax the next day. So that's how you make candles, guys. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Mine's already cooling down quite fast, so I actually might pour it so you can see. So I'll pop it in here. This is one that I previously made. I did a 2-wick one. So you can see here. So you can play around 1 wick, 2 wicks. Don't do 2 wicks in a really small glass jar because it will burn on either sides, or you use finer wicks. But if anyone wants some more information on it, I absolutely love making these, so happy to help you. But here we go. So I'm just going to pour it into here. Make sure it's only 55 degrees. And what you do also is you don't want a bent wick. So see how that just fell? So what you do is you can buy these all from candle shops. It looks like chopsticks or these. So you just place them over and it will keep your wick nice and straight like that. So I've just made a candle. That's going to sit there now until tomorrow, but I've just made a candle for around about $5, whereas we all know that some of them out there, the really beautiful smelling ones, that are just like this, cost between $35 to $55. I hope you've enjoyed today. I'm going to cross over to Michelle just so we can see her final product. So there we go.
Okay. Hi guys. So yes, I did get 3 containers of body scrub. It's absolutely stunning. You could even decorate this with a sprinkle of something else. So if you were to make something with lavender, you could take the tip of a little lavender flower, for example, and just pop it in the gift, or string some together and put it around the base with some string so you've got the lavender hanging. So many variations. It's beautiful. I know that my kids use body scrubs all the time, so I'll be giving them a jar of that. And I look forward to having some nicer, smoother skin myself.
That's awesome, Michelle. You could even put that in your Airbnb. If anyone's looking for an Airbnb, Michelle has an amazing place in Inverloch. And sorry, you didn't know I was going to say that, but yeah, she's got an amazing place in Inverloch. So reach out to us and we can give you the details. Hope you've enjoyed today. Hope you've learned something, and I'll send out the links today. All right. See you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you, everyone. Thanks for coming. Seems like everyone really enjoyed it. Awesome.
You going to stop recording?
Oh, yeah, I will do that. Oh, that record button.
We almost need to have a little sticker we stick on the computer to say stop recording. I mean, start recording.
I do stick a sticker on there and I still don't.